Hey everybody, welcome to Nampa, Idaho, where the smell of sugar beet processing has never been stronger. But today I want to show you the DJI Phantom and what I've done to reduce the jello and vibration in the video. I bought this to do aerial photography, and so it's really important to me that it's absolutely steady. I've tried a lot of different things and watched tons of videos online of different things that people have tried, and that's all been helpful, but sometimes they never show a before and an after. So that's what I wanted to show you today, is just starting with the stock Phantom and then going to a balanced propeller and then going to these larger 9-inch carbon fiber propellers, what the isolation mount does, what the moon gels do. I really just want to go step by step to show you the difference between making each of those changes and what it does for the video. I'm not an expert with RC helicopters. I've owned a lot of them, I've crashed a lot of them, I've learned a lot of things, but this is just my experience. So if you find somebody a little bit more qualified, you should probably do what they said to do. So here it is, let's take a look. To start off, these are the stock props, but with an isolation mount. You can see it doesn't look great, but let's see what the same thing looks like now with the 9-inch DSLR Pro's carbon fiber props. It's a lot better, but you can see in the video there's a lot of wobble. I tried adjusting the gain and even using the settings they recommended, but even after a day of work, I couldn't get rid of that wobble, that side-to-side jitter that you see using the carbon fiber props. Okay, so I switched back to the stock props, but this time I balanced them, including the moon gels and eBay isolation mount. And as you can see, I think that looks really, really nice. It may not be perfect, but you know what? It's pretty darn close to it. And so this is actually the configuration that I'm sticking with. Stock propellers, isolation mount, moon gels, and then balancing the propellers made a huge difference. You can see this is just raw video going back and forth, moving around. It was crazy flying, but to me, this is the best configuration I found. But here's the same thing, just minus the moon gel underneath the helicopter. I didn't think it would make any difference, but this video actually doesn't look quite as smooth to me. And so I'm keeping the moon gels on mine, even though I didn't think it would make a difference mounting it right there. But then I took off that isolation mount from eBay, and actually the video's looking okay. It didn't make as big of a difference as I expected it to, taking off the isolation mount, but I'm still gonna use it. So here it is. Do balance your props. That made the biggest difference in my tests. And I would also say to use the stock props. I'm sure there are better ones out there, but at least the DSLR Pro's 9-inch carbon fiber props that I tried, I was not a fan of. They just did not work for me. I tried everything to get it steady, and I tried working with the gain on the computer over and over and over again, and I just could not get rid of that wobble. And so I would not recommend them unless you know something better than I do. Do use an isolation mount. The little eBay isolation mount or on Amazon.com for $10-15 actually helped quite a bit. And do use the moon gels. I was surprised it made a difference, but it did. Do not, however, like I mentioned, use those 9-inch props unless you're an RC pro and you really know how to get the gain settings right. I did not have a good experience with the DSLR Pro's 9-inch carbon fiber props. Also, don't expect too much from the Phantom. You know, it's an incredible technology. I like the Phantom, it's awesome, but it is definitely in the early stages. For example, just last week when I was updating the firmware, I updated the firmware, went to Hawaii to go do some aerial photos, and when I got there, all of the controls were reversed on my controller. Everything. Up was down, left was right. I mean, everything was the exact opposite of what it should be. And so I called the company, and they said, oh yeah, we're going to get a firmware update in a few days. And I thought, what? And then when I tried to update the firmware to figure out what had gone wrong with my controller, I don't know if it was from the firmware or what happened, but it was backwards. But but I tried to update the firmware and it kept saying, no, you have the wrong firmware installed. We can't update it. And they said they weren't going to fix that for a few days. Well, I was across the ocean doing, aerial photography, and so I was just stuck. And so don't expect too much out of the Phantom. I think it's a great technology, but it takes a lot of work to get it steady. And, those firmware updates, and it's not just me, people have had a lot of trouble with them. So don't expect too much. Recognize that this is something you're going to have to tweak with. Do not try to fly indoors. And also do not try to fly through the opening in a tree over water. Those are lessons that I've learned the hard way. Enjoy the DJI Phantom. For more tips that I've learned with the Phantom, go to improvephotography.com/Phantom, and I have some more information there that I've found about it. Enjoy it, and we'll see you later. Bye.